point, bro.
It's a black hole.
It's a moot point.
Yeah.
You cannot say it's the same WWE, but the regime is completely different. The mindset and the focus is extremely different. The growth has been extremely...
There is no growth. There's no growth. What growth have he done?
Okay, hold on.
Richie, because I know you watch
Triple H
Richie,
how many territories?
All right.
How many territories did Triple H just expand to? What are you talking about? How many PLEs were international
tonight?
All right, what polish is there besides production?
Tonight we just
He's the same guy.
Tonight we
He's
just
just older.
all our records. We've broken the last records that we've ever broken. We've did the biggest gate in the United States. This is we're making the most money we've ever made ever. The guys are the most.
You're jumping topics though. That's the point. You're jumping topics. If you want to focus on LA Knight, you have to say LA Knight Vince and LA Knight Triple H, and then you cannot say as a fan watching the product, bro. Go back to any episode that we've done. How much was we shitting on Vince's WWE?
Yes.
How
I'll say that.
How quick did our tone change in Triple H's WWE?
I literally said it on the episode.
Night and day, bro.
But how we felt about
tribalism ended when Triple
Night
H
and
took
day.
over.
Has anything changed from when how we felt about LA Knight from in TNA to right now?
Yes, because I didn't give a fuck or know who the fuck LA Knight was.
I knew the dummy stuff, but
no disrespect to TNA, but back then they were not hitting.
Actually, I didn't really start paying attention to him until NWA first came on YouTube. Remember Power? When that was kind of popping?
Was not right after
Power?
his TNA run?
I think so, but that's when I personally started to like,
when he was doing the vignettes on NWA.
It was like, okay,
yes, that's the only time I started to notice him. I had to go back. I had to go back and watch old TNA clips of him to know what his character even was. The dummy part of the because he doesn't do that in WWE.
I knew that.
But
go ahead.
The polish in the way he dresses, the way he does his character, it matters. It does matter.
The way he does his character is the same, though, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. But you're saying why they didn't push him because he was already good. Regardless, when you start in a new promotion, you need to earn your way unless you are already a box office attraction like a CM Punk, or a Stone Cold, a Rock.
Or a Cody.
A Cody. That you got that mainstream big appeal. Because other than that, can we say LA had that before WWE?
It could.
No, be honest.
Yeah.
He had mainstream appeal.
Not mainstream appeal, but
What was he doing for TNA? He was good in the ring. What did he bring to... If he had that appeal, what did he do for TNA?
He gave... I don't know. They were on pop at the time.
I don't think there was...
To be honest, you can't really judge LA Knight's world title run because they was on pop. Who the fuck was going to watch pop?
So I'm supposed to not judge his run because of what station they was on, but I can't judge his run based on what regime was in place in the company he's in?
Yeah.
I don't think...
That doesn't make sense.
I don't think... LA Knight should have came in and got this big and put the rocket to the moon like you're saying. I don't understand why he would get that.
All them TNA guys,
I don't understand
everybody who is non-WWE have not run the system of WWE because he's only had tryouts or little backstage appearances as like an extra. If you have not run the system, they're not going to throw you in there. It's why they held Jade for a couple of months. They knew she was a star. She does have mainstream appeal without WWE. She's in media,
but she still needed to work with her in ring though.
Correct.
LA Knight,
correct.
LA Knight was already a 10-year veteran.
He doesn't need it. Yeah,
bro, you're a 10-year veteran of the Indies. Now you have to learn positioning. Your moves have to change according to camera angles, bro.
No, but he had all that. He had all that. I think
he has the in-ring.
I think with LA Knight, what WWE provided him, he had all the tools.
It's just the biggest stage
exactly.
production.
They provided him the platform.
He's the same person.
But it does matter.
They do everything different, bro. They slow everyone down.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone gets slowed down. Mm-hmm. They do less moves. They save it for big spots. It's a different. They story tell. They make sure that yes, you can do the moves. Yes, you can probably be the best. You could be Will Ospreay good in the ring. But WWE gets their hand on. They're gonna say, "Yo, bro, slow it down." And let's look at the difference. His equal would be Ricochet.
Who?
Right? Will Ospreay's equal would be Ricochet, right?
I thought you were talking about
in ring wise, that's his equal, right?
Exactly.
Does he look more polished now that he's in AEW, or did he look more polished and look like he would garner more views fighting Logan Paul? Ricochet.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Ricochet wrestle in AEW, so I can't even comment on that.
That's crazy.
I mean, you have to watch the week to week because he hasn't been featured in the pay-per-view.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't seen that full match. I see some clips, so I can't really comment on that.
I'm gonna be.
If you guys feel like,
I don't want to say that, but
if you guys want to give your opinion on that, you can give your opinion
on what.
On how Ricochet is presented in AEW, because I still haven't seen a full match.
So I don't think
it's not that Ricochet's protected in AEW. Ricochet is allowed to be himself, and nothing he has done has really been anything different.
You want to know why?
But it's been on a lower production.
You want to know why?
It's on a lower production now.
You want to know why? It's the same reason that everybody doesn't give a fuck about Canadian Destroyer.
Right, it's diminishing returns. They keep doing the same shit.
So,
but I'm talking about,
and it's not even because of Will Ospreay.
I'm talking about, but my point is,
think about that.
My point is though the polish when it's translating on screen, Ricochet's doing the same shit. So far, he hasn't really deviated. Will Ospreay, his match with Ospreay is probably the only time that he really showcased the possibilities of him going crazy. And again, it's just a rehash of everything we've seen with him and Ospreay in the past. But as a wrestler, he looks less polished in AEW than he does in WWE. Those cameras, the production period of WWE does make a huge difference. And if he could be character-wise the same person, but in ring, how to position, how to do your mannerisms so it does come off on camera, and the storytelling, slowing down your moveset and do the storytelling aspects, that's what WWE is king in. You feel me? So yeah, all these guys got to learn the system before they get shot to the moon.
I don't think LA Knight
if anything, LA Knight had a great payoff chasing a singles title for so long. Jey Uso's been chasing a singles title for the last 2 years. It paid off.
I'm saying that they should have capitalized from the beginning, because
LA Knight wasn't ready for that.
He was always ready.
LA Knight needed to go through the system, but like I said, it stems back to the regime. We can't judge LA Knight's original run because of the stupid gimmicks Vince was trying to put him on. So if we take it from the time where they had to reintroduce him in Triple H's era, there was too much going on for him to be shot into any of the title single pictures.
That's almost a good problem to have, but he did.
The World Championships were unified.
He kind of
for three and a half years.
He got so organically hot. They didn't have room. They didn't have room to do anything with him.
The World Championships got unified.
He held the Universal for 3.
Bro, 1,000.
He held the Universal for 3. He did it.
He did 1,000-something days, right? How many days makes 3 years?
But not both of them at the same time, though.
But all right, I see what you're saying there. But the titles were caught up. So you telling me he should have beat Brock Lesnar?
Who?
LA Knight.
Hell no. What?
Exactly. That's who had the World Championship.
But I'm not saying that he should get a world title, though.
Okay, mid-card. Right. Gunther.
He was holding the IC.
Gunther had it for 2 years.
Who's holding the United States Championship?
That was between Logan Paul.
That's why, because Logan
Bobby
Paul.
Lashley.
There it goes.
He didn't have the Logan Paul recently.
That's why.
Logan Paul recently won that shit within the year.
Logan Paul had it for a minute though.
So before
Logan
that,
Paul made it a whole year.
So Logan Paul had a hold on. Logan Paul had a
So we talking about LA Knight.
Logan Paul had a
So we talking about
and
LA Knight being built within the last, let's say, 2.5 years.
There was no room. There was no room. There was no room.
He's been on the main roster for at
Vince
least
only been gone for like a year.
He's been on the Ray roster.
It's rounding the year that Vince has been gone.
He's been on the Ray roster for at least 3.
But that's my point. What we keep going back to, Vince didn't believe in that vision of him, so we cannot count that run because Vince wasn't giving him a chance. You stuck him with the maximum male model gimmick. So he was built to fail.
My thing is that what I'm trying to say is that Vince McMahon shit that you say we can't judge that. Then that's got to offset the production then.
No, the production is because you're saying what makes him different in WWE as opposed to TNA. He's the same gimmick. And I said, because one, the technique in the ring has to change because you have to learn the WWE system. You have to slow down in the ring. And you have to know camera. You have to know camera positioning. But he's still, if you look at him, he's still learning or implementing more moves into his moveset now. Still. He's still polishing his character. Because now he introduced, ever since SummerSlam, that second rope jump to the top elbow
LA Knight always had a WWE wrestling style.
He always did. But it was not polished where he was at. You get what I'm saying? WWE throws polish. There's reasons why they position themselves in certain areas of the ring to get certain camera angles. So it's a constant production. That's the biggest difference. Now, when you talk about they failed as far as pushing him, Vince failed. When Triple H got the reins, he positioned LA Knight, and LA Knight was getting victories on almost everybody. Technically beat Roman Reigns. He beat not only somebody who has been probably one of the hottest rookies in arguably in WWE history, but somebody who's a social media attraction. You cannot take that away from Logan Paul whatsoever.
First of all, I was gonna say, you talk about Bray, right? I was gonna say you talk about Bray, right?
Nah, it was. Listen, LA Knight had suffered a case of being the right guy, not even during the wrong time. This was a good problem. It was so hot. Gunther had the joint he had the title for. That's when he was going through his year run. Logan Paul had the championship. They weren't going to take it off.
But who was before Logan?
And then he was getting. But
you know how much advertising Logan? How much money?
I'm not debating Logan. I'm not gonna debate that.
He beat one of the biggest social media influencers.
Who had the championship before Logan?
Was it Rey Mysterio? Did he beat Rey Mysterio for it?
He beat Rey Mysterio for it.
I think he beat Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio beat. It wasn't Lashley.
It was one of the shit with Ligaro.
Fuck.
Who was he facing? He was trying to face who?
Santos Escobar and him had beef with.
Well, yeah, it was just shit. It was a case where the people who had it, they couldn't take it off of at the point.
Damn, how I'm forgetting who
but
they beat.
There was a period in time where LA Knight was just so organically over. It was just kind of like, yo, we got to do something. And they were just, he was kind of like idle. He was just kind of idle for a second.
Van Vliet,
you know what I'm saying? He was kind of just idle.
The world's information in our fingertips.
But that's almost a good problem because you got so many plates spinning that you got this organic thing and it's just like, damn, we really just don't have any room to do it. Like
they have too many stars, bro.
That's a good problem.
That's
a good problem.
For the first time since 1998, 99, 2000, 2001, everybody on the card fucking matters. Literally, everybody, top to bottom. Everybody has a purpose, has a stirring storyline in the background or forefront, or they could brewing in the future.
They could do better with the women's division. I feel like they could do more with the women's division.
What more could they do? They do everything that they can.
For real, if anything, the women's tag team championship has been in the best shape. Is been in forever.
Bro, they're in like 5 or 6 segments each show.
Not only that, they're running major storylines on both championships, both women's world championships. So it's actually in a really good place right now. Austin Theory.
I feel he could have squared up with Austin Theory and could have got that title.
He could have, but it wasn't his time. that storyline built up the entire LWO. It built up the new Legado de Fantasma, which built up Carlito, which built up the Judgment Day. Like, so much plate spun off of that. What would LA Knight produce from that? What is he producing from his reign now? That the decision to go with Austin Theory, Rey Mysterio, and that loop is like that brought so much growth. It's just multiple superstars.
Because wasn't that the time that he was facing Bray?
Bro, him and Bray's feud, hell no. That's almost a year after. You forget.
When Austin Theory was champion?
Yeah, bro. Bray came, had that feud, and left again. Was gone for months, then died when he was about to come back.
You sure? I could have sworn he was. I could have sworn
his feud with Bray happened at
Royal Rumble.
Was it the Rumble?
Yes.
Because they had that lights out match.
Yes, good gosh.
Bray Wyatt died in like September, August.
No, he died going in near WrestleMania season.
After that, definitely after that. Look up when Bray Wyatt died.
Because he was going to go into a feud with either Bobby Lashley
August 24th.
Oh yeah, you're right.
August
because
24th,
this was
so
it was the year before that he had that.
Correct.
In 2022. So you're right. He was.
I think they pulled the trigger on him exactly when they needed to, before he lost his momentum, and right when they built him, they chose the right person because he was all over social media. Logan Paul just had this match. Logan Paul just lost his title. That was the perfect person for somebody who you want to be a media sensation or want that position. That was the perfect person to do it against.
Yeah.
In reality, now it's showing proof. Now run with that title. He's been giving us good matches, but in reality, everything around him is more interesting than he is right now. Not knocking him. I like LA Knight, but his reign so far has been like, oh, so what's going on? Like, all right, we can have a match.
Basically, Cody. So what do you guys want to talk about? Oh shit, there's somebody there. Okay, we'll have a match.
Well, now Cody's been.
Well, now there's a story.
Now there's a story because
now Cody's been cooking more.
Because now Roman's back. But before it was like, so what do you guys want to talk about? Oh shit, who's there on the ramp?
Before we hop to that,
let's have a match.
Before we
hop, you damn right. I'm a accept your challenge.
Before we hop to that, because that's a big. But the Carmelo Andrade and Carmelo is having that series. Now that's finally spun out into something. Now that's gonna be for the IC champ. So now that's a story. But like now it's just getting cooking. You know what I'm saying?
But everything is a slow burn.
That shit was cooking since it started.
People was like, oh, look, Andrade left AEW, went to WWE. How are they using him? They not using him.
It took a little second.
Him and Carmelo got a best of 7 series. That's probably the best thing that's going on SmackDown right now.
It took a little second for it to get started, but
that's not a main event level feud.
And doesn't even need a title.
It doesn't.
That feud doesn't need the IC title.
It doesn't, but it's great that now it's like spun into that because everybody's ultimate goal should be to win a championship. But I agree. I'm glad that it.
But see, people got spoiled. This generation thinks the championship is success. How many legends were legends without a championship?
That's what John Cena said to Cody.
I don't think, you know what?
That's
I don't
what
think
John Cena said to
LA Knight
Cody.
needs a title either.
Who?
I don't think LA Knight needs a title.
He doesn't because he's such a character.
He has a character.
It was to solidify him in
It's
WWE.
just to solidify him
WWE.
as like we see you as someone who's successful, and we got your back for a certain time, so you can be confident and maybe eventually, probably like 5 years before you retire.
I do think a championship suits him though. It does suit his
character.
I like him with the United States Championship, but it's bearing fruit for him. It's not really bearing fruit for everybody else. The feud he's in right now, he's just in the middle of Carmelo and Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
That's his current feud. He's in the mix of the best of 7. It's not that he challenged them, they challenged him. No, these dudes are so adamant about chasing that title, and then they got stuck in a beef between each other that's overshadowing the championship.
Yeah,
to me.
No,
not that that's bad because that feud is that good, but
good,
you know, like that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have
good issues.
I wouldn't have Hot Shot. They did what they needed to do. Like Logan Paul was probably controversial for a lot of people because it's like he wasn't there a lot, but when he came back, he gave the match that.
He gave the matches and he brings the numbers.
You know, that made sense for why he's able to
makes money. He makes money. He makes money. That's really the bottom line of it at the end of the day. On fact that he does deliver in the ring. He makes them money, he brings in the numbers. So.
Not only that.
So it was the Royal Rumble of 2023 that they fought?
I don't think it was the Rumble. I think it was like Extreme Rules, if I'm not mistaken.
That who fought?
That they did that blackout match.
With Bray Wyatt?
Yeah.
That was Royal Rumble.
Well,
2023?
The highlighter match.
It can't. There's no way it's been too short of that time, bro.
Yeah, I don't remember which year it was, but I know it was the Royal Rumble. It's like, sheesh.
Pitch black match.
I mean,
yeah, Rumble 2000.
Oh man,
23.
Oh man, Uncle Howdy missed LA Knight like a whole ring.
So Bray hasn't even been dead for too long. It's been like
it's been a year. It's been officially a year. No, a year and
10 months.
2 months. 2 months. He
He
died August 2023.
Yeah, man.
A year and 2 months.
Right. I gotta find an artist.
Shit, I remember JoJo posting about him on the year anniversary.
I'm find an artist who did that tattoo.
But yeah, that era is fucking night and day, bro. Yeah, it's like we were saying, like all the bullshit aside for Vince and his personal life, you gotta thank him for everything he did, bringing wrestling to the forefront, building WWE up the way he did, but he needed to go. And by the time Triple H took over, it was a breath of fresh air. And
by the time,
I'm not saying everything is a hit, but there's a lot of hits more than there misses, and that's night and day from what was happening before.
By the time,
it was a chore to watch Raw, bro.
By the time Triple H took over, I couldn't even
watch Raw.
By the time Triple H took over, mad people had just stopped watching WWE. The numbers, the ratings had gone down, and it had really gave room to birth AEW. That time period.
Yeah, that really means that Edge really hasn't even been there for too long to be getting injured like that.
Edge ain't been nowhere too long. This is exactly why certain decisions I have to respect of Vince. No, I don't want you full time. No, I don't want you doing crazy shit all the time.
Yeah, special attraction.
Like, it wasn't, Vince is holding me back. No, Vince sees that you're a 40-something-year-old man with a fucking fused neck that had to retire early, and you coming back and you're putting yourself at risk. Yeah, you can still go, you can still give us moments, but look what the fuck you just did.
And that's completely on him.
You just altered your entire course. We just, all that shit, and this is the problem with AEW. We buy in to everybody who comes brand new in, or is a legend that comes in, or somebody from WWE that comes in. We buy in, they get fucking injured.
I mean,
because those restraints that they were so happy to take off from WWE, they go out and exercise their freedom and fucking hurt themselves because there's no restrictions.
I mean, but here's the deal. He decided on his own to go do that, and he spoke about this
because he has the freedom to do that.
But that doesn't mean that it is right, though.
Right.
It's not right.
So we can't.
This is what I'm saying. Vince's restraint made sense in a lot of cases.
Who's to say that he wouldn't? I mean, he probably wouldn't have done it there. But I'm just saying, like,
bro, you're not jumping off the cage and Vince is not approving that.
This is true.
If that's not a pre-approved spot for the producers, so they can prepare for that,
and if
you're
Vince
not doing that.
But if Vince did, you better believe he had that wrestler practice at least 1,000 times just to make sure they clear that landing and make sure that his legs is not facing downward.
I feel like because
that's one thing I'll say about AEW. It doesn't seem like they don't have any start coordinators at all.
Yo, bro, two concussions.
I don't blame it. I feel like
on the 5-year episode.
But those are wrestling moves. That wasn't like a stunt, like diving off of a cage or something like that. That's even worse. That's even worse.
I feel like
because if it was a big high spot like that, okay. They made a risk, and but no, these are just regular moves. It's worse.
I mean, it can happen.
It can happen, yeah.
It can happen, yo.
But lightning strikes twice in one match,
realistically, it can happen in every.
I'm sorry, but this brings me back, and I've been thinking about this shit for a long time. That time when Taz was talking about we don't run a sloppy shop, my nigga, that you should be eating your fucking words in a hero sandwich, bro. Because that shop is sloppy as fuck. Sloppy as fuck. And it's down to, it's not even wrestlers only. Referees. It's everything. It's everything.
I ain't gonna front. That referee during Rhea and Liv got me tight. But there was nothing that he could do. That wasn't the referee's fault. There was nothing that he could do. But it was the way he acted it that I was like, damn, bro.
Because I don't think she did the spot in the right time.
I don't think so either.
I think it looked like she was in the wrong position. Nobody was ready for her to jump out just yet. Because the referee looked shocked. Like,
what? Would it matter? Because you probably know the person that looked shocked because that got no pop.
My thing is that you walked right past her. And then you wanted to give your attention completely to Dominic. It's like, yo, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You like, yo, you literally see her right there.
Yeah, but those mistakes are few and far between. We've had two noticeable ones this year. That and the Damian Priest ending.
And it was bad because the referee didn't even call for the match.
I don't know if that was the ref or if it was Damian Priest. Something was off in that shit.
It was the backstage.
It's few and far between.
No, it was the backstage.
But shit like Aubrey walking over somebody's leg that's on the rope and acting like she didn't notice it, that's a problem.
That is a huge problem.
That's a fucking problem, bro.
Bryce.
So
Bryce. Anything that fucking Bryce fucking does, bro.
What is
that
this?
ring is not as big as the main roster, right?
Same ring. No, they trained this.
It must be the fucking arena then, because that shit looks shorter.
The arena is smaller.
Yeah.
And this is what I was telling Rich earlier. I'm like, they're fucking smart because.
Yeah, I think
according to like some shit that was posted online, if it's true. WWE has like a clause in their contracts with arenas that they can't market other wrestling. For like I think 2 to 3 months before and after they do their events there.
So I think the whole year, really.
So if NXT's running the smaller venues and they're traveling, they're gonna soak up all of the venues from AEW.
Yep.
And that's what I've been saying. But I've been saying for the past 2-3 years, AEW needs so much smaller.
But what he just what?
If but NXT's already beating them to that now.
The thing is that with AEW, they went all out. But the thing is, what made it special was that it had that grunge, that indie feel, but you're bringing it to like a stadium, and it's like sometimes you got to go back, like with go to the Hammerstein fucking ballroom.
I was saying that too.
Yeah. Nobody runs the Hammerstein fucking ballroom.
Why?
They should.
And this is what gets me mad that he purchased Ring of Honor. Why the fuck aren't you running Ring of Honor out of the Hammerstein or something like that?
Right.
Like
or the ECW arena.
And
it's good questions.
Why he loosely incorporates them to It's like
I
just want to give an AEW wrestler a title real quick.
It's like
he's gonna fight the Ring of Honor champion.
It's like, yo, bro, you have so many people from that used to be in these promotions that are famous in these arenas and shit like that, but you never capitalize it. That's why I don't like Tony Khan or his booking. He books like an immigrant kid was watching wrestling back in the day.
I mean, he probably was.
He probably was. But it's like, yo, you can't book American television like that.
No, Tony bit off more than he could chew. He tried to create a product that was supposed to be sports based, when you can't make wrestling 100% sports based, because it's the fucking storylines that make the people get invested, and it's the payoffs from the storyline that makes people remember and never forget the moments.
So here's the thing. So
here's my out of 5 years, right? 5 years at AEW. Can you name 10 moments, 5 to 10 moments that are like, yo, this is the greatest that I've seen in history in the 5 years? I can name a few, but it should be a lot more.
Why would it be a lot more though?
Because I can only name about 3 to 5.
Well, there's a lot.
They're still brand new though.
There's a lot.
They're 5 years.
I mean, that's just a cup of coffee.
They're just a few months from WCW's existence.
You trying to? But they don't have Eric Bischoff, bro.
It doesn't matter. They're about to outlive.
Tony's not as smart.
Not just Nitro. They already outlived Nitro. They already outlived Nitro.
But he's not as smart enough to get that.
They're not too far from outliving WCW.
But that's off of his own money.
I think they could have kept it.
That's not actually trying to make it a business.
I'm not talking about as far as success.
I think
I'm talking about as far as the amount of time that they had to give us classic moments that we could be like, yo, remember that time?
But that's what I'm trying to say.
So can you name?
But that's what I'm trying to say.
Can you really make a top 10 list right now off the top, quick? Can you name 10 moments that were like, that was history? As far as an in-ring match that compelled people, that was like, this moment was phenomenal.
I can give you 5.
I can't really do that because every match is basically the same.
I don't know if I can give you 10, but I can give you 5.
Can you do that in WCW?
No.
Can you name 10 from WCW?
No.
I could probably name 10.
That was always. They had some good matches.
The Streak?
Not because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in that long.
You don't even have to watch WCW.
But then again,
to remember how many moments.
We talking about storylines.
Historically, it stood the fuck out. That storyline stood out, or that
NWO,
That moment was undeniable.
NWO, the New Blood versus the Millionaires.
LWO, Mysterio versus Eddie. Booker T's championship run.
Chris Jericho.
Sting storyline.
Chris Jericho's
run. Conspiracy run. For the most part, the Four Horsemen, the NWO storyline.
Macho.
The Wolfpack, even though it started getting whacked, Macho had a run there. Like, you see how we could just spit fire? I can't do that for AEW in 5 years, and they have almost the same.
I could.
I can.
Yeah, if we're bringing in that parameters,
I can.
And not just like timeless moments, but
right?
It's just okay. They're notable.
I'm talking about timeless moments.
I can. For me, I can.
Outside of maybe we're starting AEW.
Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks at Revolution, that first match. Good gosh, that shit almost gives me chills. Kenny Omega versus Pac when they had the 2 out of 3 falls.
That storyline got on his shoe.
I'm telling this is for me. I'm talking about wrestling in ring. When I seen it, I'm just like, my gosh.
CM Punk's return and
holy shit, Rampage. Oh my gosh.
CM Punk's return and left. I would say
Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland at Forbidden Door. That was just like, holy shit.
MJF Adam Cole story.
It's just MJF period.
MJF.
And then you put in Adam Cole versus MJF, because MJF you have to give him his own category. You can't just pigeonhole him to that.
Cody Rhodes' promo from undesirable to undeniable.
Nah.
This is for me. When I heard that, I'm just like, that promo right there.
That did more.
Cody Rhodes moonsault.
I agree with you now, and this is why. Before we continue, I agree with you now, and this is why. That promo did more for Cody than it did for AEW. When we think of that promo, we don't think about AEW.
We think about Cody Rhodes.
That's Cody AEW though. That's Cody AEW.
Cody could have cut that promo
anywhere
in Ring of Honor.
He could have, but he didn't. He did it in AEW. He could have did it. He could have done it.
That wasn't a memorable moment for AEW. That was a memorable moment for
Cody's moonsault off the top of the cage to Wardlow is more of a moment than that speech.
I agree.
The Acclaim finally winning their first tag team championships.
Hey, hold up. Hold up. You can't deny my
knowledge.
You're asking somebody their You're asking somebody their opinion about what's memorable moments for them. You can't deny their knowledge. I can't tell me that's not a memorable moment for you. That's not a memorable moment for you.
I'm talking about overall though. I'm not talking about just based off of you. I'm talking about if I was to mention Cody's promo from that, would people actually remember it, or would they remember Cody's moonsault on Wardlow? And I'm gonna think they're gonna go with that one.
And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying
go to any internet board and be like, hey, remember that Cody promo? He said
per se. I'm saying general perception. Let me clarify that, because I'm not trying to diminish your opinion. General perception. People notice how with WCW we didn't say
I felt. The NWO was good.
That was the moments. Yeah, Those are the moments that keep getting replayed in history. Mm-hmm. I didn't watch WCW's original run, but I could spit fire so many moments. Why? Because they stood the test of time. Mm-hmm. They keep reverberating. That whole NWO, whether it turned out trash, we wouldn't have Bullet Club. We wouldn't have half of the shit. Probably Judgment Day. We wouldn't have half of the shit that came out. There was so many spin-offs of that Bullet Club lives to this day, and they gotta thank NWO.
I want to know why.
Things like that.
I want to know why the Acclaim is diminished.
And one of the moments you said, I'll tell you. I'll get right back to that. One of the things you said was what was the moment?
The Acclaim won with the tag team championship.
Besides that one,
Adam Cole versus MJF.
The other one,
MJF. If so,
that's all you said. That was.
The first one was the one that you said, and I said that, and then I said MJF, and then you said Adam Cole and MJF. And I said, yeah, we can have that, but you gotta have MJF. And then I don't know what you said first.
Alright, because I lost the thought. I wish we could rewind now, but I lost the thought on that. But as far as the Acclaim, their run is. Can you say that they're more popular now than they were a year ago?
No.
Of course not.
That's because of the Bucks, though.
Why, though?
And Max also got really cringe.
Why, though? And that's what I'm saying.
Max also got really cringe.
If they had that moment, but a year later, what did that moment do?
But it's still memorable. You want to know why?
It's because the same argument I had.
It was a homegrown team.
It's the same.
They never tag teamed in any other promotion. They got together there, and it was the first AEW creation that actually won a legitimate title. And that's why it's more memorable for everybody. It's not. It could have been Top Flight. If Top Flight would have got that thing, they would have. Well, then again, you can't really say that because they're brothers and they did tag in other promotions. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying.
The biggest thing that AEW has in history, that story meant something and reverberated. It's the reason why they're probably still standing now. Kenny Omega's title run. Kenny Omega, period. He's not around.
The belt collector?
The belt.
If you notice, most of my shit, Kenny Omega. Literally. Kenny Omega. That's my guy though.
I recognize it because people will say that, but honestly, not to me. To me,
I think it's the elite. I think undeniable shit is the elite.
That promo didn't do shit for AEW because he took that and left with it. Because that same promo is running in WWE right now. So that doesn't mean shit for the general consensus. Like,
okay, I can see that.
Like, literally, because that same promo was cut. Did they even come out with a shirt? or some. I'm pretty sure WWE did some type of promotion with that shit.
They probably did.
The undesirable to undeniable shit.
That sounds.
So
like that,
I can't say that had a historical impact.
I just really like that.
We can't even count that.
No, we can't.
But BTE had more moments that made AEW history and was the reason why
led up to AEW.
People bought in.
You can't count that.
And we can't count that because Tony doesn't use it.
You can't count that.
So strictly down to moments, MJF gives us a lot of moments, but so far, 5 years, his feud with Adam Cole is probably the best feud in the 5 years.
CM Punk
second best
MJF
would be Hangman and Swerve. Then the Belt Collector.
I like Hangman.
And then Hangman's entire character arc.
And that's still going till this day.
Those are I can't really think of any other storylines or moments that are pushing AEW forward. We gotta forever remember Sting, right?
Dang.
We gotta forever remember his retirement. But what did that do for AEW? That was for Sting.
That was definitely for Sting.
Darby Allin is in the same position before he was with Sting as that he was after Sting.
But that's his fault.
Well, he's in the main event now.
That's his fault.
You can't blame Sting for that. That's
whoever's fault it is, somebody writing the shit.
I mean, he's in the main event picture now, though.
Is he though?
Who?
Yeah.
Didn't he just give up his title shot on some weird fuck around story just so we could get Bryan Danielson versus
No, he lost to John Moxley.
That's what he just said.
Correct. They used that as a fuck around story just so we could get Bryan Danielson versus what's his name?
John Moxley. Yeah.
Not John Moxley. The other dude. Nigel McGuinness. So we could get that match at that's why they went around that. Then they gave it to Moxley. They couldn't explain that because they wanted the Nigel McGuinness.
They didn't explain it
story.
well. They didn't explain it well.
They didn't explain it well.
Yeah, it was a clumpy.
But it was like,
hey,
we want this storyline, but we kind of wanted this Nigel McGuinness match.
Yeah, they just didn't. They just got.
And that was the wrong move.
And they fucked Darby for it.
That was the wrong
move. So is Darby really in the main
event?
event?
They should have waited for All In.
They should have. Yeah, they should have really waited. That should have been milked more. I think they rushed that. I think they
that feud should have been milked for the whole year.
In my opinion, Nigel McGuinness.
He should have been throwing shots. Or Nigel should have been throwing shots from the announcer's table the whole year.
Nah, he has been. He has been. He has been. He's been.
So that should have continued.
Nah,
until they start getting interactions.
All that was it just happened really fast.
What should have happened? Nigel should have cost Bryan the world title and joined BCC.
I agree. It should have been way more drawn out. It should have been way more because
Bryan should not be champion right now.
Because he's been calling them out for a year. He's been shitting on them for a whole year.
That Nigel McGuinness Bryan Danielson match, that didn't do shit for AEW history. That was Ring of Honor history. And you didn't even promote that shit through Ring of Honor. Like, you didn't even put it on a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. You took that Ring of Honor feud and you thought that hundreds of thousands of people were supposed to just bite that feud and it's supposed to be a history-making match. And that's the thing. The law of diminishing returns. How many times are we going to see these groundbreaking matches instantly? What do you got left? You're not building these shits.
He could have built that story.
So, it's like, I can't count Dark Order, the beginning. Yeah, it was cool in the beginning. But where's Dark Order now?
On YouTube.
On YouTube. That don't count. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
All this shit with Brody Lee, they gotta remember him as a legend and all that shit, but where's the legacy of what he did?
They should have.
5 years later. Nothing. So, in 5 years, I don't think they built up. I'm not gonna say that's nothing because they have more. I'm not
gonna say that's nothing because
they got more historic negative moments that shook the foundation.
Every single time that you hear AEW, what did they start with? His legacy lives on every single time you hear AEW.
Who?
Brody Lee.
Bro. What about Jericho's first championship run?
What do you hear when you first hear AEW?
What did it do for AEW in the long run. People right now can't stand Jericho.
That's can't stand Jericho right now, but at the time he kind of brought legitimacy to AEW.
He did. I mean, he did.
I'm not talking about just.
He was the first one that brought legitimacy to AEW. We can't take that away. That moment we can't take it away.
That whole title one.
But Jericho, I don't know.
It's been Jericho over this last year.
He's been a negative effect on almost every wrestler he's been paired with.
Yeah. It's that. Yeah.
Except for Orange Cassidy. And Orange didn't really boost because of Jericho.
So, Jericho needs to go away for a while.
But I can't really think of. They outlived WCW Nitro. I can't think of off the bat to rattle them off. I can't think of. Who knows? Maybe in 5-10 years we can.
There's a lot of moments from Dynamite that I like that I can just kind of just randomly even during the weird COVID era, I remember when Carl Anderson and the Bullet Club when they all first came together, I was like, oh, this shit is so cool when they first started interacting with TNA and shit like that. When
that shit fizzled out real quick.
It did.
That's the fucked up shit.
We instantly recognized that they weren't doing nothing for TNA.
They didn't handle it the right way. And unfortunately for AEW, their roster has never been 100% healthy at the same time.
That's why I hate this commentary about AEW has so many great returns coming back. They're going to be fully loaded. Yo, bro, we've been saying that every year since they've been existing.
But a lot of the time, I know what you mean, that nobody's ever 100% wrestling, but it's just like people are always injured.
There's no such thing as a 100% roster ever.
I just mean like the injured, like a big star is like
everybody
always injured.
In some way hurt.
Right. So a big star is always injured
to
at
the
the
point
time.
that they can't
wrestle, right? And it's always a big star.
I'm trying to say there's always somebody in a promotion that's injured.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's no such thing as a 100% roster.
But there's
a
big stars
injury
though.
rate.
Yeah, like your big stars.
And the injury rate is fucking high. They're on the bench completely status. That rate is extremely high.
Yeah, it really is.
Every year is 3 to 5 that are like injured.
It's 3 to 5 months.
And people that they were going to put like major storylines on get injured. That's happened to them a lot. That's happened to them a lot.
Wrestlers,
that's happened to them a lot. They did rotate wrestlers. That just happens to them a lot. They've
had it's not because they want to showcase other people. It's because they're getting injured.
Yeah,
and they want to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah. That's why he did those major purchases back to back the way he did. Think about right now if he didn't get Mercedes and Will Ospreay. Because I'm not even going to count Okada because Okada's not doing his solo thing.
Will Ospreay. I mean, I love.
Before I say that, do you think Okada made impact? No. You think Okada made any impact?
No, not really.
No.
I love Mercedes. She could have went back to WWE. Will Ospreay was very important to AEW.
He's important to AEW right now.
Very important to AEW. Mercedes could have went to WWE. I love Okada. Okada could have went to WWE. I'm glad that he's here. I feel like we haven't gotten into third gear yet. We're just stuck in second gear. And it's just like we tap it sometimes. We kind of get there, and then it just don't.
They handed him a title and they made it
first year.
It's just like why?
And they instantly handed him a title.
But I haven't seen anything impressive from Okada yet.
He's had some good matches.
The only thing that's
he's not the Rainmaker, bro.
The only thing memorable about Okada right now is the fact that he keeps saying bitch.
Oh, out there just doing the middle finger.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Bitch.
Bitch. That's the only thing he got going right now.
Yeah, it's not
that handed title.
Maybe there was too much leaning on him and Kenny. Going, head to head and just having that on American soil, but
if Kenny's able to return, that's gonna be
one thing I'll say. Tony Khan's a lazy booker.
5 years later, he's a lazy booker.
Not even that.
So he does.
He's a lazy booker because I'll tell you why. Because he'll try to use other promotion storyline as long-term booking instead of creating his own.
Yep.
He'll lean on it.
Or he'll do the same.
No. It's not that he'll lean on it. He'll lay on it. He'll completely lay on it, bro. It's not. In fact, there's been times where there's storylines where something happened completely in a different promotion, and that's the storyline.
He reminds me of somebody that's just like here. This is weird. Okay, like somebody.
He did continue the Willow Monet storyline from New Japan.
I mean, but they do work together, so that kind of makes sense. It makes sense to do it in no sense because they do work together in the pay-per-view.
Right, Stardom.
It's the same shit.
It makes sense in that, like, but to try to like lay on WWE story, that doesn't make any sense. But like in New Japan, you work with them, so that
whole
makes
first
sense.
year was leaning on WWE.
So what's Christian Cage?
Okay, but
so tell me what was Christian Cage versus the Cope about?
It was.
You weren't there when I wanted to wrestle with you. You wanted to do your own singles run. He just got to AEW. So what single one is he trying to reference?
His WWE run.
The feud started,
and that's long term booking into that.
The feud started because he wanted to come and end his career with his buddy. Like, and then
boom.
He wanted to end his career with his buddy.
What about Matt Hart? What about
and then Christian told him to go fuck himself. That's how it started. He wanted to team with his buddy. He wanted to end his career. Let's go on one more run. Let's end our careers together.
But why? You're overlooking the fact of what Focus said.
Exactly.
Right. You wanted to go on your singles run. That singles run happened in WWE. It didn't happen in AEW because he just got there.
So the whole storyline is basically in reference to a WWE storyline.
Hmm?
That's where the whole storyline, that's the foundation. A WWE storyline.
Yeah, because that was Edge's first feud, and then he was already trying to be a tag team with Christian. Right? It was his first feud.
He's like, where were you when I wanted to be a tag team champion and you wanted to do your singles run? He never had a singles run in AEW, so I guess he's talking about the other spot.
Did nothing for AEW so far.
What about the FTW title? How is that not riding the coattails of ECW? Like, yeah, Taz owns the belt, but you still dick riding ECW. Who owns ECW? WWE.
That's the same reason he hired.
I wouldn't have even bought the fucking FTW. Like, it was cool at the time.
I'm glad they retired.
But it really stood there a lot longer than it should have been. Because I always assumed that it was gonna eventually transition to hardcore.
Yeah, it overstayed.
Never happened.
It overstayed.
Just never happened. It's like, and then Hook doesn't even fight with weapons, so it's like, okay, so
because why have a hardcore title in the company that everybody's doing hardcore? If they're not doing super acrobatics, it's hardcore. There's no
the flippy champion.
Who's the technical wrestlers in AEW?
Daniel, and the AEW World Champion.
Who else?
Layla Hirsch.
MJF.
Layla Hirsch.
Deeb. MJF is a technical wrestler.
Yeah.
Britt Baker.
Serena Deeb. Some Mercedes Moné. She is.
What?
She does. Yes, she can. She can. Yes,
she's a luchador. She's a luchador. I'll give her that. She's not.
I'll give her high flying. I would technical wear. You're thinking about Bailey. You're thinking about Becky. You're thinking about Charlotte. You're thinking about all the other members of the Horsewoman.
I'm thinking about her matches with
because. What?
Her matches with she's them, trying to reverse
and the reversals of the submissions and going back and forth. That's what I'm thinking about.
Because she had to. Because she was fighting a technician person. But what? But other than the lazy ass crossface, what submission move does she do?
Yeah, she can be more of a luchador.
Have you ever?
I'll give her a luchador.
When was the last time you see her do abdominal stretch?
Technician.
But Daniel Garcia.
See, technician. I think
he's not a technician.
Eddie Guerrero.
He's not a technician.
Chris Benoit, Bret Hart, Kurt Angle.
Right.
You know, Chad Gable. People like that. and Eddie was a / cruiser.
Right.
She tries to emulate Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have the technique of Eddie Guerrero.
What was that?
But
who else would be considered a technical wrestler?
So far, y'all mentioned probably
Roderick Strong.
3 to 4 people each division. Everyone else on the roster. I wouldn't even say they're technical. They're like old school wrestlers.
That is technical.
They're like the atomic drop.
They're technical.
They're like atomic drop, like kind of people. You know, like let me give you a double axe handle. Like that's FTR style.
Yeah, old school Smash Mouth.
The Outrunners, the youngest tag team on the.
Yo, they got to get their Dynamite prepared. Stop fronting. I mean, they've been on Dynamite.
They're the FTR runners now.
They need to get that push.
That was the best. That's the time where I said yes, Tony.
You know,
got it right.
Yeah,
I give them FTR versus the Bucks.
He gets it,
but
no, he doesn't.
But that story is a cross promotion feud with WWE. That's how it started.
What?
FTR was in NXT. They were like the greatest tag team of that year or whatever, and the Bucks started making fun of them, saying "fuck the Revival."
That was Cody
and the Bucks.
I think that was more.
That's why they got the tag team. That's how the tag team beef between them started.
But I think, that was mostly Cody saying "fuck the Revival." You never really heard anybody else say it.
The Young Bucks randomly came out one day and said, "The Young Bucks will fight the Revival one day, and everybody will rejoice."
And then Cody said, "Fuck the Revival."
Yeah.
BT, that whole leader. I think
I give them that. That was a good storyline and moment because it went long, over a year. They had like the 2-3 matches already. They could probably still draw off that rivalry whenever they want.
They can still draw off Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of their moments were just like, hey, and then it's like, okay, what's next? It wasn't like yo, bro, that moment really resonated with me, bro. Like that moment to this day, I'm thinking about that moment.
Me too.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot that I could say. Like, us actually participating, like our experience with AEW in the beginning, that is more memorable than what they actually produced on TV. The hype of getting a new promotion, seeing what that was like, that first year. Like, the first year and a half has more moments than the entire 5 years, bro.
You can't even count it.
Huh?
You can't even count the first year and a half.
Why?
Because
it's not even the same company once you really think about it.
And you just proved my point from earlier. The regime in that area,
it's the same regime,
in that era,
it was the same regime.
No, because
Tony had the same thing.
Cody left. The Bucks were VPs, and so were Kenny in the beginning.
But it was all that was what they said. But it was actually Tony though. Tony always had final say on everything, no matter what.
Well, I think in the
Bucks
beginning,
definitely had.
I think in the beginning they actually did.
What I'm trying to say.
You know why? Remember that Dark Order episode in the first AEW episode in that first year when the Dark Order and they beat the Bucks up and all that shit. I remember Tony Khan did an interview and he was like, "That's when I really had to take the reins. I got to step up because he just kind of just letting them just do whatever they wanted." And he said because he really didn't like the direction that went in. And that's when he just I had to really step in and really be the writer.
And he filled the
So the reason why I say you can't count the first year and a half is because
so they did in the beginning. It was
a different regime.
Yeah, it was.
It's different because they had
the honeymoon phase too.
It was like they took every part of wrestling and put it together. It's not like that anymore. They stripped some of that out. It's not.
It's the same. It's that same argument for earlier in the conversation.
But it's the same person on top.
It used to be a lot more of a variety show.
Yeah, exactly. Same there's no death matches anymore.
There's less chiefs. There's more Indians. There's less chiefs. That's the difference now. But it was a different era of AEW. From Brandy being the brand ambassador and Cody was really the face of the company.
Cody was a different he was doing so many.
If Cody never left, I don't think we ever have this conversation about if AEW wasn't gonna be great.
If Cody never leaves, CM Punk situation works out. That situation,
I think so too.
Cody does not let that situation.
Cody would have been like, fight it out there.
Cody, no, I don't even think it gets that far. Cody would have handled it. Cody was the face, the guy. That situation would have never even escalated to that point.
If it did get to that point and they had to split the shows, Cody would have managed Collision better than Dynamite.
I don't even think he would have got to that point. Cause just like go back to just what you said. Yo, we old school. What up?
If that was the case,
go outside shoot the 60, man. What up? Go outside shoot the 60.
If that was the case, how come he didn't smooth things out with the Bucks?
You really think the Bucks had the maturity?
We clearly, and we don't know these men personally, but
they were showcasing all of the beef on TV. On Twitter,
something happened. He said it was for personal reasons. We're never gonna know why Cody left.
You don't want to shit on the Bucks. It's okay for two things to be true. I got love for these guys because we created something. We'll always have that love for each other. I can't stand these niggas though.
Right.
Two things could be true.
Right.
I don't think that he would have handled it.
I don't think it would have even escalated to that point.
Because,
I don't think it would.
Like AJ said, the Bucks are bitches.
I feel you.
I ain't saying the Bucks are bitches, but yeah.
Basically, I
don't think they have the maturity to make those decisions.
If Kenny is
that whole shit with
if Kenny could reference saying
throwing Cole's beef with CM Punk, you're a fucking EVP. You're throwing beef that don't even belong to you. You're throwing beef that predates you. You're throwing beef that was in a whole other company.
I'm not saying that Cody would have controlled, he would control that a bit, but I feel like he would have just been like, he's that Switzerland. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
He wasn't Switzerland at that time because they hit, like I said, Cody and the Bucks had beef at the time. They cut him out of BTE segments all the time. There was this one time on BTE where he purposely looked at the camera and said, "Nick, I want to be in this segment. Please don't cut me." Am I wrong, AJ?
Yeah, I know something.
So what makes you think that he's actually would be that Switzerland in that CM Punk situation? Because if at that time, if prior to that, he was already had odds with the Bucks.
Because regardless of what beef was happening, he still did business. He still acted professionally. He still did his dates, and he did more dates without contract.
I think he would have. I think the Bucks
missing the denominator.
I think the Bucks.
Denominator?
I think the Bucks would have got cut. I think the Bucks would have got cut out of power.
I think the Bucks eventually got cut out of power. It's not that
they got demoted.
But I'm saying
they don't make decisions
before
the way they used to.
Everything is storyline now.
I think I know. But I
have a feeling it's been like that a lot longer.
Probably
than what you think.
I think since before All In, because even Kenny, when he was on that stream a few months ago, he kind of put the timeline of when he stepped down as a VP, which was way before the CM Punk shit even blew up.
Shout out to Kenny
so
Johnson.
you gotta put that into perspective of he probably also didn't like the direction the Bucks were heading.
Right.
Because notice how his storyline split completely off of the Bucks.
Yeah.
Do we actually know if they're even on cool terms anymore? That's the thing. Or is this actually a work?
Bro, the last time we saw Kenny Omega didn't even know he was making an appearance.
The last time we saw Kenny Omega, he was talking hot about the Bucks and the situation.
He wasn't talking hot. He was being real. He was the only one being real.
But he
even said that he spoke to CM Punk, and they were on good terms.
But there was one particular party that didn't want to do nothing.
Right. And that's why I said the Bucks don't have the maturity to do certain things. But if Cody was still there, and he was still in power.
It's the Young Bucks.
I feel like that shit would have got cut.
It would have got cut.
They wouldn't. That it would have never.
He would have been the voice of reason.
He would have. It would have been like it's like two dogs that going at each other. You put them in two separate. You would never even give them the opportunity.
Another point to that too, because something happened with Brandy. There was a situation backstage with Brandy that they never really touched on.
I think it was because Kenny Omega was trying to steal her.
What do you mean steal her?
He tried to take her from Cody. You don't remember the storyline?
No.
I think that's BTE 150 through 175.
This guy. he pulled that shit out like it was a comic book.
Right. It used to be.
Hashtag brand
that's how it used to be. That's how it used to feel.
You know what it was?
That's how it used to feel.
She, Brandy wanted to have a role probably, and it wasn't working out. And you know what? Some certain people they don't like, because criticism, and then Cody tried to stick up for her, and they both got burned because of that. And that's probably whatever.
It's sad how many moments that Cody and them did create that really don't matter in the long run.
Cause what about the Nightmare Collective?
That was complete garbage.
Yeah, that was garbage.
And then Little Brand.
They got rid of that immediately.
And Little Brand is in what, Ring of Honor? Hidden. He should have never purchased Ring of Honor, bro. I really wish that would have went to WWE. They probably wouldn't have continued the brand, but at least to have the library in a safe place.
It diverted the attention of AEW.
Vince could have got that for one and a half paralegal, bro. Just think about that.
1.5 paralegals, I'm done.
Oh my God, we're done.